Welcome to the Vue Diagram tutorial. In this video, I will show you how to create and customize ports in the Syncfusion Vue Diagram component. Ports are connection points on a node enabling connections to specific points. I will show you how to create and add ports to nodes programmatically and dynamically. You will see how to update and remove ports at runtime, add multiple ports, customize the port's appearance and position, and draw connectors using ports. First, I open my Vue application, to which I have added the diagram component with a node. To see how to integrate the diagram component into a Vue application, please check the Getting Started video linked in the card above and the description below. Let me run this application using the command npm run dev. The diagram canvas renders with a single node. Now I will show you how to create a port programmatically. Within the script tag, define the ports variable with a collection of objects with the ID port1. Define the offset property with an object. Here you can see multiple ports displayed with different offset values. 0, 0 represents the top left corner of the node, and 1, 1 represents the bottom right. 0.5 signifies the midpoint along any line in the node. You can set any fractional value between 0 and 1 for x and y properties. Let me set a port in the 1, 0.5 position. I set the x value to 1 and y value to 0.5. Define the visibility property to display the port on the node. There are 4 different values: connect, hidden, hover, and visible. When I set visibility to connect, the port will be visible when a connection endpoint is dragged over a node. When I set visibility to hover, the port will be visible when the mouse hovers over a node. When it is set to hidden, the port will not be visible, and when set to visible, the port will always be visible on the node. Here I set the value to visible. The import statement shows that the port visibility enum is imported from the Syncfusion EJ2 Vue Diagrams package. In the node1 object, define the ports property with the define ports variable. See, the port is visible in the node on the diagram canvas. Next, to create a port at runtime using the mounted function in the diagram component, add the ref attribute and assign the value diagram object. Within the script tag, declare a diagram instance variable. To define this variable in the export default statement, use the mounted function. Define the diagram instance by accessing the $refs object and assign the diagram objects EJ2 instances. Using this, you can access the diagram component related properties. To add ports to a node, use the diagram instance and call the add ports method by passing the node object as a parameter and the ports variable. This statement will add ports to the first node. You can also utilize this statement in any event, such as a button component's click, to dynamically add the node at runtime. In the node object, block the ports property settings to avoid loading ports from the node object. On the diagram canvas, see, a port is added to the node. Next, I will show you how to remove a port from the node on a button click. To create a button, first install the button package. It is available in the Syncfusion EJ2 Vue Buttons package. The installation is now complete. In the app component, import the button component and define it in the component's property with a name. In the template, add a division tag and set a class name for better alignment. Within it, add the EJS button tag and set the content to remove port. Set a class name for alignment. Add the click directive and assign an event handler. In the data function, implement the method removePort. Within it, use the diagram instance, call the removePorts method, and pass the first node object in the ports variable. In the style tag, import the EJ2Vue button styles and implement the division tag class style to align left and set the margin at the bottom. Implement the button class style for the right margin. You can see the port in the node and the button component. If you click it, the port is removed. Next, I will show you how to customize the port offset dynamically using a button click. I will set this port from here to there by changing the offset values. In the template, add another button with the content Update Port. Set the click event callback method to update port. In the data function, implement the Update Port method. Use the diagram instance, access the first node's first port, and set the offset value with X value 0 and Y value 0. This will render the port on the top left of the node. Now, when I click the Update Port button, you can see the port's position changed. By default, a port is displayed at the center with respect to the offset position in a node. That is, both the horizontal and vertical alignments are center. The diagram component also supports right, left, top, and bottom combinations. Here, the port is displayed with different horizontal and vertical alignments with an offset of 0, 0. I will show you how to set a bottom right position with the offset 0, 0. In the port object, change the offset value of X to 0 and Y to 0. In the Update Port method, block the offset setting statement since the same offset settings is initialized in the ports variable itself. Use the diagram instance, access the first node's first port, and set the vertical alignment property to bottom. Similarly, set the first port's horizontal alignment property to right. The port is now displayed with the offset value 0, 0. Click the Update Port button, you can see the port aligned to bottom right position. Next, to customize the appearance of the port, add the Style property in the port object and set the Fill property to orange and Stroke width to 2. I also set the port height and width to 20 pixels. Checking now, the port's appearance is customized. Now let's see how to change the port shapes. The default shape of a port is square. The Vue diagram also supports circles, crosses, and custom shapes. I will show you how to set a custom shape. In the port object, I add the shape property and set its value to custom. Define the path data property with an appropriate path value to render a star-shaped port. Now the custom-shaped port renders. Next, to add multiple ports programmatically in the port collection, I add more ports with appropriate IDs and offset values. Checking now, multiple ports have been added to the node. Now I will demonstrate you how to draw a connection between two nodes using ports. In the nodes collection, add one more node with the appropriate ID and annotation values. In Node 1, add the annotations property and set the content as Node 1. I will connect these two nodes by drawing a connector from the port of the first node. So, in the first node's port object, I will keep only one port with ID right mid port and comment out the other ports. Then add the constraints property and set the draw option in order to connect the nodes by drawing. Now using the first node's port, I can draw a connector to the second node. When I move the first node, you can see the connection between nodes at a different point instead of my defined port. Connector positions adapt based on the shortest distance between nodes when no port is defined. To ensure connection on the port, always, in the port objects constraints property, add the value default along with draw. This will prevent the connector's source point from being changed from this port. Once more, draw connector. When moving the first node, the connection remains fixed at its port point. Even if the second node's position changes, the connection from the first node remains fixed. You will notice the second node's connector position adjusts as nodes move. To prevent the node to connector position from changing, I need to add a port to node 2 and connect it. To do so, in the nodes collection for the second node, define the ports property. I am using the same ports variable where I already defined a port. In the ports collection, uncomment the left mid port to add 2 more ports for both nodes. You can see 2 ports for each node. Connect 2 nodes using the ports. The red highlight over the port indicates that the connection is established. Now, changing the position of any node doesn't alter the connector's position. I will explain the other port constraints in detail in my upcoming video. The process of connecting 2 ports programmatically has been covered in my connectors video, and I have shared the video link in the description below. In this video, you have seen how to create a port programmatically and dynamically using the Syncfusion Vue Diagram component. You have also learned how to dynamically create multiple ports and update their properties. Additionally, you've seen how to position ports, customize their appearance, and draw connectors. You can download the example in this video from the GitHub link in the description below. I've also included a link to check if you're eligible for our community license, which gives you a free license key for our entire Vue suite. If you found this video useful, click the like button and subscribe to our channel to get notifications about new videos. Thanks for watching.